Welcome to Coffee Bar Stories,
A small town comedy and DTZ Entertainment presentation.
hosted by Dad and Son.
Hello and welcome back to the Coffee Bar Stories. Today in episode 10, we're going to be interviewing Billy the Kid, our little buddy that we like to hang out with all the time. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
Alrighty. And so, just tell us about yourself, like all the nitty-gritty details of Bilson over here. Just tell us about yourself.
Nitty gritty.
Anything you want to say?
All right. Well, I'm a father-to-be. In about 3 months, I'm gonna be having a little girl. I play in a couple bands. I work just about full time, and that's quite a bit.
So you're in a few bands, you said. What type of bands are they? Like, do you like big bands, or they just like your local garage bands?
Local garage bands, I'd say, more than anything. But I am working on recording my own music.
I mean, there you go.
What about playing, have you played out anywhere live, like a bar or even like a party at somebody's place? Or
Oh yeah,
whatever?
I've played out a ton.
Because I'll tell you, just even 5, 6, 7 people standing there watching.
Oh yeah.
It's when you starting out, it's a big deal, man. That's
say
something.
probably
I give
biggest
give it
crowd
to you.
we've-
That's some courage.
Probably the biggest crowd we brought in is probably about 350, 400 people.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's
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 pretty
more
big,
than I'd
buddy.
be able to do. I'll tell you that right there.
But that's like throughout like a 4-hour period.
Okay. So as people are slowly
Yeah.
funneling in, basically.
Yeah, coming in and coming out.
Yeah, in my day, there were like bars that had huge stages, and you could get capacities 200 to 300
Yeah.
occupants, and you get that then. But that's these guys. They played covers. They weren't doing original music. It was whatever was popular at that time, especially in my late 80s, early 90s era.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, or we talked about it before, but that type of music was popular then.
Yeah. Speaking of, is that what you guys do? Are you guys more cover band, or you guys like to do some originals here or there?
As of right now, we're more cover band
Mm-hmm.
than anything.
What band have you guys been covering, or is there a lot of them? Just if there's a lot.
Whole ton of them, from Eddie and the Cruisers to Shinedown to Collect a Soul, you name it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. What would you say your favorite band to cover would be?
That is truthfully a very hard question because I like to play a lot of songs.
How would you give me like a top 5 then?
Top 5, Stevie Ray Vaughan would be definitely one of them.
Okay.
Jimi Hendrix, Def Leppard, probably live as well. And my 5th one, probably have to say like Pantera or something heavier. I like power metal.
Do you?
Yeah, power metal. That's pretty cool. I like the Panteras and stuff like that. The grinding.
I just love some chugging. I love some.
The old school thrashy power metal stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It sounds like it's a diverse spectrum of music.
Oh, yeah, extreme
they're
diverse
playing.
spectrum.
So that's a
Very.
good thing, especially if you're looking to play out a lot to earn
Oh,
some
yeah.
money. You got to be able to cater to the atmosphere you're going to. You don't go to what they call it, the country bar and grill, and try to play some screaming rock in there.
Yeah,
or-
there's no going to the country bar playing some fucking
Never.
metal. I mean, I'm sure you can take one of their songs, make it a little more heavier, and make them like it, but you can't just go in with some Pantera expecting all the country folk to be like, yeah, let's go tip some
Yeah,
cows.
there was this one time we had this whole metal set ready to go, and we looked at the crowd. And we're like, we're changing everything now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You got to appease the crowd.
Yeah, that's good that
Like
you're
we
able
went
to
from
diverse, though.
we went from harder metal to Mustang Sally blues, some Johnny B. Good type of stuff.
There you
and-
go, yeah.
You know what I noticed? It's more with DJing than it is actually bands. But
Yeah.
is being able to, if you can see the crowd gets rowdy easily and stuff, how to stay away from certain styles of music that may pump them into, up too much. Because a lot of times liquor is going to be the biggest factor in it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, my buddy, DJ CO1, he's got the luxury of he's using music. So if he sees it, he can tame it down. He's got a lot of experience. A band, sometimes, unlike you, it sounds like, they may have a set they can't really divert too much from.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, we don't have nothing we can go
Yeah.
off to settle down.
It's like they get
maybe,
just
maybe
one
take a break.
thing down, and then they don't decide to learn anything else to please the crowd.
Exactly. See, yeah.
Basically like the one-trick ponies type of thing, where every
Yeah.
album kind of sounds the same. I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you got ones that they'll have a band that they just are so engrossed in, and that's all they know to play.
Oh, yeah.
And that is it, But they'll get hard to play. We, at matter of fact, speaking of bands, in high school, this place was called the Roundhouse, right?
Yeah.
And you go there and for dances, right? They were going to have this band there. So we're standing around 10, 15 minutes, and the band's supposed to be starting, right?
Yeah.
And they're goofing around with the instruments a little bit. They're standing there, they're looking like they're ready to go, and they're goofing with an amp here, maybe, whatever. And then 20 minutes goes, and now people are like, hey, come on, man. They're walking up to them. And then the guitarist starts like smoking in the boys' room, and they stop. And I don't know what happens. Like these guys get in a big ass argument or something. They won't play nothing and stuff. And then now 45 minutes has gone by.
Oh shit!
And this place,
Break time.
yeah. And the place is getting filled up. There's probably like 40, 50 kids in here.
And they're just arguing on stage.
And they're not even on a stage, really. They're just on the floor.
Oh,
Because that place don't have a stage. They do
Yeah.
have They did have a rollout one, but it may not have been big enough for them.
Mhm.
But next thing I know, the guy that ran the place, he's no longer there. That ran the place, he had to roll out a stereo system, and this is back in the days of rack systems.
Yeah.
So you got all those separate components, and he's got it on a cart, rolling it out with these two huge speakers, and they ended up playing, music
record?
like CDs and
Yeah.
I think it was cassette tapes and whatnot. So he ended up having like half-assed DJ to dance because of the band. He ended up throwing them out.
I mean, at that point, I would. I mean,
They made him leave.
I don't blame them.
Oh, yeah.
Over an hour, they've been waiting basically to hear them play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the time they got out of there, it was probably an hour and 20 minutes by the time they got everything out
damn.
too.
I would have booted
But-
them out as well.
I mean,
yeah.
shit. At least at that point, do something. Don't even just stand there. Just like the
Well-
jam session at that point. Do
Yeah.
something.
Right.
Well, the good thing was, for me at least, is I had a pony keg in the trunk of the car, tapped and ready to roll. So we just went out there and started drinking beers. Did you ever do that? You guys were in high school, just go out to the car and wait while the band couldn't play?
No, not really.
That's why we had to have kegs. See, we had a lot of bands that said they could play that didn't.
That would be terrifying. Just to go somewhere, be like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to this band. You're like, oh, we don't know how to play, guys. I'm sorry. Bye. So
now, I guess next question I would have is, seeing that my other sons are all pot smokers, I'm going to gather that you are too.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I don't know. Let's see. We'll ask you. Give us like the first time you got high and roughly about how old you were, and we'll go from there.
For me, I was probably about, I'd have to say probably 15 years old.
okay.
That's not. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
normal
It's not
age.
the youngest I've ever heard.
It was.
So-
Yeah,
that's-
definitely not the
see,
youngest I've ever heard.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I was about his age, maybe just a year younger.
I must be an outlier because I didn't start till I was 18. So
That sounds like a personal
Well,
problem.
that yeah,
oh, it was.
yeah.
Be glad you found it.
Dad had
So you were.
Dad had uncles.
Yeah. So you were 15, and who was it with?
My sister.
Your older sister, right
Yeah.
there.
Makes a
Okay.
lot of sense. Okay.
Oh, when his younger sister, hey, come here.
Oh, I really hope.
She's a real bad influence, and she's
But-
only 12.
My first ever time was out of a bong.
Okay.
And I tell you what, I do not remember what happened. I remember I ate a lot of mac and cheese and a lot of crackers.
Were you with a bunch of people or by yourself? or-
No, it was me, my sister, and one of her exes.
No. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And did you like get choked out on the bong, or was it like smooth sailing, or was it like everyone else's first experience, like dying?
It was pretty smooth sailing, but then again, I didn't exactly know what I was doing at first.
Yeah, I mean
And-
that's usual.
Plus, it was like packed full of ice. So it was a really cool.
Okay.
Oh,
I get what
yeah,
you're talking about.
smooth
The whole
hit.
Yeah.
very nice,
Oh, yeah.
cold and smooth
Yeah.
hit. What would you say is your best or your favorite way to smoke? I guess like.
Truthfully, pinch hitters.
Pinch hitters.
I
but-
see that. They're nice.
For the value of the saving on your weed.
Oh yeah,
by
definitely that
the,
too.
the fact
Portion
that
control.
I know a lot of people that swear by the pinch hitters. It's just easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
They got.
It's convenient.
Yeah, they especially if they got like a lot of property. A lot of guys I know that have property that they got to do to mow their lawns a 2 to 3 hour mowing on a riding mower.
Yeah.
The big ones even, and they'll take their pinch hitters and dugouts with them. They're not breaking the law. They're on their property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the pinch hitters, people or more not pay attention to that.
Yeah.
If you're out there, especially you're on your lawnmower and you're trying to pull out this big 6-foot graphic bong, pulling it with your toes.
Just like that
obvious.
one.
Oh yeah, you have some experience with some tall bongs. You actually bought one.
Hey, I was gonna get the bigger one, but it was like $20 more expensive, and I wasn't having it.
Okay, you gotta give us sizes first so we know what's a bigger one.
Yeah.
So all right, so how big was this first one?
It was a mini,
Okay, and by mini we mean
probably about a foot tall.
okay, and then the second one.
Second one, the one I currently have is 4 foot tall.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a tall bong.
Yeah, and I've actually hit that thing. And
Yeah.
Oh, it's a trip. It's either it's
It
a
was
50-50.
glorious whenever Big Poncho hit it.
Oh yeah. But hitting that thing, dude, you get a 50-50 chance of whether or not you're gonna like inhale the water because you're hitting it too hard because you're just trying to get all that smoke to travel upwards, or you get the most powerful hit of your life. I liked it when I tried it. And now, how big was the one you were going to get that you decided not to get?
6.5 feet.
All right, listen, I'm 6'1". That's taller than me. I don't even. That's too big.
Yeah.
That's more novelty shit.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
know.
why I really got it. I knew we'd use it once and then never use it again.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's not. That's not a problem if it's your style to be
Like
you
a
know, to
collector or
display it.
whatnot.
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Because I knew I did have bong collection at one point in my life, but it was like porcelain bongs that were these cost me quite a bit of dollars, but they were sculpted and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they just weren't your graphic bongs and 35 of them. I had expensive ones that were specially made porcelains, whatnot. So, putting those up, it was hell. If you turn it a certain way, they wouldn't even know what it is on some of them.
Yeah.
Get complimented for your art. Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's what we do, Billy. We're gonna take a break and we'll come back with part 2, and we're gonna have you tell us pot story, and we'll see if we can get you into opening the ball on some secret story.
Yeah.
Some
All right.
secret stories. All right. Sounds good to
Alrighty.
me.
So we'll be back right after these messages.
Rello Radio Show, Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. DJ CO1.
All right, and we're back. Billy's gonna tell us some stories. So
Alright, so I got 3 stories in mind. The first story is about a time we had to rescue a buddy named Cheese on a New Year's party.
okay.
So it was me and your little brother, and we were all hanging out at my house, and your current girlfriend was there
Okay.
at the time, along with my girlfriend. And well, Cheese's parents started looking for him.
Okay.
And little did I know I was his cover.
Okay. So what did he tell his parents that he was gonna be with like you?
Yeah, he told his parents he was gonna be with me.
Okay.
So his parents are freaking out, calling my parents and everything else, trying to find
Where
their
Cheese
kid.
is at. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we ended up finding him because we had no idea where he was. And he was at this New Year's party, and turns out we ended up having to rescue him because he was overdosing on LSD.
Overdosing on LSD.
You do know
And
that's
alcohol.
he might have felt like it. God damn.
And alcohol and pot and everything else.
I don't think he was actually ODing on LSD. 'Cause
I would
you
say it
kinda,
was ecstasy
it kind
and
of
a whole
burns
bunch
you,
of
but
stuff.
he could be
He took a bunch of
definitely if
ecstasy
he's
and everything. You
like
name it.
So he
okay.
chemical toileted it.
Yeah, well, we call chemical. He chemical toileted it.
Yeah.
Just whatever threw it into him. It was probably a mixture.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, then we get that because I was gonna say LSD alone. No.
Yeah, you
I
can't
mean
really overdose, but
you'll overdose and
at a
stuff,
point.
but I don't.
Yeah, it's gonna burn you out before
Yeah.
you overdose.
that or you
For sure.
will overdose and you ain't gonna survive it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
either brain dead issue or your body is gonna
I would
just shut
say
down.
he
It's a
was
chemical.
sick. He was super pale. Whenever we got to him, he
Yeah,
he
that
looked
sounds.
like death.
Yeah, that sounds like the toilet was flushed. That's what that sounds like. The toilet got flushed on.
All right.
Well, we eventually ended up finding him, and we drove over to this party to pick him up because he was being a party pooper. And, well, so I get there, I see him, he is throwing up on the floor and just face first in it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's rough.
And I ended up having to pick him up over my shoulder,
Oof.
and he was throwing up all the way down the back I am so lucky none of it got on my back.
Missed you completely.
But, yeah, but the whole way to my truck, and I threw him in my tailgate.
There you go. At that
I threw
point,
him in the back of the truck. He was throwing up. I wasn't having him in my seat.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
But-
Somebody throw it up, man. That stinks.
So we drive off, and then we turn the corner and drive back by the party. Cops have the place swarmed.
Oh, man.
So we were in there just in the lick of time to get our boy out.
Oh, definitely.
It was a rescue mission.
Did you guys like have to park in the alley and back door to get him out, or
No,
what?
I carried him over my shoulder right out the front door.
So
I didn't care. I was in there and out of there in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, you got out before the police had showed
Yeah.
up. Oh,
But
okay.
I say we drove off and turned the corner and came back by it. It was swarmed.
Oh, man.
Hey, that's what you get. I'm sorry that caused for a laugh.
You're getting a lot of use out of that machine.
But
I do, don't I?
he was so messed up, we did not want to bring him back to my house. So we did the most rightful thing. We brought him to his parents.
There you go. And how
And-
badly did he get in trouble?
They were freaking out.
I bet.
They thought he had to go straight to the ICU. He looked so bad. Like, he was throwing up on the couch. He looked like a Walking Dead man.
They didn't take him to the hospital?
No.
That would have been my first reaction. Or your mother, especially.
Oh, yeah.
That'd have
Thing
been
is,
her
he-
first reaction. You got to go to the
like,
hospital.
He was
man.
messed
They-
up, but he kept trying to talk to you. Like, he could hear you. He can kind of comprehend, but he physically could not really do much other than slur.
I know what you mean.
Maybe the throwing up, obviously that's what's saving them.
Yeah, and on the way
Dispelling
back to
the
his,
poison, but still, there's gonna.
yeah.
I mean, he's. I think that was a bad call on the parents' side. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not my kids, so it's not my call.
Yeah, he got in big time trouble. But
Oh, I can imagine.
And this cheese fellow, I know who you're referring to. And this isn't his first time acting a fool at like a party.
definitely
Because
not.
on the flip side to his story, there was a party that I've attended that he was there at, and he was drinking heavily. And I guess we were playing around. It was a group of us that we were playing something, I don't know. But someone came up to me and pretended they were like a ninja. And so me and him were play fighting as ninjas, and then here comes Cheese out of nowhere, and I go to fling my arm back like I'm a karate chop the dude in front of me, and I just throat chop Cheese. And this man just starts he puked absolutely everywhere. And he was like heavily deep into the alcohol session at that point. And surprisingly enough, he was composing himself. He was actually acting normal. You couldn't tell he was intoxicated. The minute that throat chop connected, man, it was like all of it just hit him at once. He was on the dead, slurring. It was bad, but he deserved that because from what I heard, he was just talking massive game and talking shit.
Well, that's
Then
he's pretty much like D was, like I told you in that one story about the tunnel, just
Yeah.
a chemical toilet.
Yeah,
Don't-
but what makes matters worse
guy
about that
do
story
anything.
is I decided to leave the party, and the host did too. Everybody else was gone, so Cheese was the only one left in that house. I guess the kid who I was hanging out with's parents got home, saw the aftermath of the party, and the only one there is Cheese. So he goes to him and snips his hair and just starts cutting his hair. I guess some way of being like, you fucked up in my house, this is what I'm gonna do to teach you not to do that or something, and just starts cutting this man's hair. And Cheese loved his hair, bro. You don't fuck with his hair.
His hair is like Slash.
I mean, I guess he learned his lesson from that time though, because the last time I saw this man, he had short hair.
Okay, so what's your other stories you got?
Well, there was this one time me and your little brother ended up almost in a gang war. Well, it wasn't really a gang. It was more of a wannabe criminal
Okay.
people.
Oh yeah. I get.
Played too
Yeah.
much Grand Theft Auto and decided we
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, like a group of
Yeah,
guys,
pretty much.
running together more and less. But yeah, I get what you say. Not a gang like gang
Yeah,
members.
a
I see
group
what
of
you're saying.
guys that wanted to do something dumb and
That's not uncommon. Yeah.
No, it's not.
yeah. Well, anyways, there was these group of guys and they ended up robbing our pot dealer.
Oh man.
And, well, our pot dealer ended up retaliating by telling the man he's gonna mess him up and this and that. I'm gonna whoop your ass. And the dude ended up saying he's gonna get a whole bunch of people to come over to his house and they're gonna whoop his ass.
So it was just an all-around ass whooping, basically.
Yeah, an all around ass whooping.
Yeah.
All
Come.
right.
Well,
more-
they did
more
manage
and
to
less
get
of-
like 20 people people together.
More or less retaliation.
Yeah.
Tit for tat, so to
And,
speak.
well, we ended up getting about 15, 16 people together.
Okay.
Because they said they're coming in with a whole bunch of people. I said, well, if you're doing that, we're doing the same. And rumor
might as well make it fair. I mean,
rumor got around about it. This was whenever we were in school.
Yeah.
So rumor got around about it, and everybody in school knew about it now because nobody keeps their mouth shut
oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
of course
about
not.
anything.
You got the massive grapevine and
yeah.
rumor mill
High schools,
Exactly.
man.
everywhere. There, yeah, no, man,
But
that's the
anyways.
fastest way to get information around.
So they ended up. We were all over at our dealer's house, and they all ended up. They showed up. They got out of their cars and everything.
Really?
We were ready to throw. And
How many of them showed up?
there was about 16, 17 of them.
Oh, wow.
And,
Okay.
But we also had about 16, 17 people.
Holy cow, there's a lot of that's
Goddamn.
32 people out there. That's
Well,
a
it
crowd.
was the whole football team and then some,
Oh,
pretty
wow.
much. And freaking, they got close, and then we started walking towards them, and some of our people had hands in their pockets, like as if they were holding guns.
Oh,
And
that's not good.
that freaked them out, because they thought they were about to have a shootout. And I did not want no darn shootout. I'd never want to be a part of that.
Yeah, but
But-
did they bring guns?
No.
It was just a scare tactic.
No, rumor had it that they brought guns. That's what the rumor around the high school was. So we were like, well, if that's rumor, be safe than sorry, type of thing.
Yeah.
And freaking out of nowhere, they just all hopped back in their car and drove off. And one of our guys, I'm not saying his name, but he threw a brick through their window of the car. And while they were driving off, and we haven't seen him again. And for some reason, one of our buddies that we had there thought that your little brother set it up, but he had nothing to do with it.
He wouldn't
So
either.
He never talks to him again.
Yeah, you get knuckleheads. There's all kinds
yeah.
of knuckleheads. I've known people that have not necessarily robbed somebody, but like middled for them.
Oh yeah.
Got them a bag of pot and stuff, and oh god, dude,
Pinched the bags and
pinched
shit?
it horribly. You know,
Ah.
I mean, they're handing them. Let's say back then a quarter, $25 for a quarter. Okay,
Yeah.
We'll just say that price for a quarter, right? And they try to bring them like barely a 15 bag or over a dime bag, right?
Oh shit.
Bag, you know, because they pinch that heavily, and then and then say, well, the guy, because a lot of times the middling person, they're gonna pinch you heavily.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know that from firsthand experience.
Well, the only reason he really retaliated because, like, if it was a couple grams, whatever. But he stole a half pound.
Oh shit.
Right, no, I understand on the
So,
on the
that's why
level of the problem that incurred. I understand that. But, I'm just, saying it's also something that if you're going to be in that type of
Lifestyle
situation,
or-
lifestyle, you got to be prepared for everything.
Oh, yeah, for
There's-
sure. It's not a
know.
lifestyle you want to do.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, there's no such thing as halfway in, halfway out. I'm part-time and all that. You're either going to do it and be smart about it, or you're going to screw around and get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only time I've ever done is, like, if, like, a really close friend's like, hey, can I get a diagram of you real quick or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The people that really are in it are the ones with weight.
For sure.
5, 10, 15, 20 pounds coming in at a time, and they're distributing in, the smaller sizes, obviously, ounces,
Yeah,
quarters, halves,
for sure.
whatnots. But, they're the ones that's got to watch. You got your part-timers that, I know, matter of fact, back in the day, believe it or not, guys, there was a dude I roomed with for a while. I was renting a room from him
Yeah.
at his house. And what he'd do, he'd buy a quarter pound, 4 ounces of weed
Yeah.
from a guy. And then this buddy of his that he worked with in his field, he was in like chefs and stuff like that, fine restaurant cooks.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he had one he worked with at a restaurant one time that he would come by every 2 weeks, I think it was, and get 2 ounces off of him, okay, and he paid more for those than what the guy I was living with paid.
Yeah.
Then 1 ounce would be for him, and then another ounce he would sell like a quarter to this other buddy of his at a place he worked, and then the half he'd just sell somebody to ask or something, sometimes a waiter or a busboy,
Yeah.
and stuff. And basically he was getting that quarter pound for free, and probably smoking on it, getting another quarter pound for free, maybe making $25-$30 profit from it,
Oh damn.
if that.
Mm-hmm.
He loved that. He never ran out of weed. I was impressed the way he
Must
did
be
it.
nice.
Yeah, plus the guy came over and he wasn't there 10 minutes and gone. He'd come over. There's times we'd sit out there and watch a movie or something together, bullshit.
Yeah.
Or stuff. Or in a lot of times they come, he'd come by and stuff, and I'd be in my room, and I know he'd be in there 2 hours just visiting. So what that kind of doing it, I get, that's just for your own self. That's not like you're doing street weight.
Oh yeah, no.
Definitely.
All right, so you got any other stories in the old think tank up there?
I can tell you about the time me and your little brother got arrested.
That'll work. Go for it.
Well, it was a nice sunny day, and it happened to be your little brother's birthday.
Of course.
And we all got together, and this was whenever your little brother first started smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't know what he was doing, really.
Yeah.
And he ended up buying an ounce.
Okay.
And he split that ounce between about 8 or 9 people, wasn't it? I believe. And
Something along those lines.
well, so we all met up after school, and we split off into groups because we all wanted to go to this abandoned building.
Alrighty.
And
Were you guys just trying to like be outside, out of mind, to where you could smoke and not get in trouble?
yeah.
Or
pretty
were you
much.
guys
We were
off
still
to
in
do
the
some
beginner
mischief?
paranoid kind of. We were still in the beginner paranoid kind of
Worried
phase.
about getting
Yeah,
caught
worried
and stuff.
about getting
So you
caught.
didn't go into
Yeah, sure
this
enough,
place.
we got caught.
Yeah. So you guys didn't go in to do any damage or nothing. You just
No.
you were using it as far as you can't see me outside.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Other than the lady down the street got us caught.
Uh-huh.
But
I had seen you go in. I take it.
no, she kept running in front of the front window, so people could look right in and see her. But
Was she with you?
no, she was actually with your little man in the
Oh.
other room.
Oh, she was a friend of my little brother's that kept running like in front of the window, or what you're saying?
Yeah.
And everyone outside could see her running inside in front of the window is what you're trying to say.
They had big windows. Okay.
Okay, I get it. And that's how you guys got caught, basically,
Yeah.
was somebody saw her dumbass running inside, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was the ultimate dumbass.
The ultimate dumbass.
She kept throwing bricks through walls, running shopping carts through drywall, and
Oh, shit.
she was doing a bunch of vandalism crap to this building.
Oh, damn.
And needless to say, we were dumb.
Sure sounds
But
like it.
I'm so glad we had this buddy who lives close by here, and he was gonna come, but he ended up seeing the cops outside the place, so he called us first
Oh.
and gave us a little bit of a heads up. Hey, cops are there, get out. So
Okay.
we all went to run. We all ran to this little back door area about to get out, and sure enough, they come right around the corner. Get on the ground, get on. Just doing their old
Get on the ground, nobody move, nobody move.
doing their old cop
Let me
thing.
see your hands.
Me, I'm overweight, so I flop down like a beached whale. And, well, we all land in a pile of glass.
Ah.
And, well, they took us down to the station. I don't know, is this whenever you first found out?
Yeah, this is, that yeah, that wasn't good for him. Yeah, this was for your mother, or for his mother. Yeah, this was everything. I suspected he was starting to, but he knows my rules and stuff, and as long as you're doing the right thing and doing school and everything, and you get of age and then you graduate, But yeah, I had to have a talk with him about that, because she wasn't happy. I'll tell you, the officers, I'll give it to you guys on this. The officers were pretty cool about
They were.
what they did find as far as you guys' weed and stuff. They didn't charge you with that.
That's
they
because we
got you
ditched
for
all of it, pretty much.
Yeah, they
which
pretty
is
much
lucky.
charge you with trespassing.
If they would have seen how much we actually had, we would have probably been in way bigger trouble.
Well,
definitely.
Okay, so you guys had more on you, actually.
Yeah, we ditched it in the corner of the building whenever we ran.
Okay, see, you're lucky that you're telling me just quite a few years later,
I know.
But
Almost definitely.
Oh, certainly.
But also, I understand. I actually, what they had showed us was a very small amount, and I kind of figured, well, okay, they scored a little bag and to celebrate his birthday and stuff like that and stuff. But hearing what you guys really had now, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, me either, to be
because
honest.
you guys have always, as soon as you guys are able to get a job, you got a job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or like worked for somebody. If you weren't old enough, you could work and actually get paid.
I was saying, I worked under the table till I got a job that pays taxes.
Yeah, that you actually were
Like I
getting
did
a paycheck from.
drywalling and helped on roofing, tear-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great experience. It's rough business to be in, but it's great to
it's
get some
backbreaking
experience.
work,
It is.
but it's honest work.
It gets rough sometimes. You gotta really pick and choose what your career is gonna be. I'll tell you that.
That's for sure.
And like college is not for everybody and stuff. I'll tell you that right off the bat. So, trade schools, I find that trade schools seem to be a more efficient way to get into the workforce if you're not looking to get degreed for, like a office job or something. If you're the type that loves the hands-on or something like that, or wants to be around machinery, them trade schools are the way to go.
Yeah.
So do we have any more stories or
Questions? Anything?
Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll take our commercial break for part 2, and we'll be back with part 3 ending.
Alrighty.
All right.
And we'll be back after these messages.
Rello Radio Show, Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. DJ CO1.
Welcome back for part 3 here. All right, Billy the Kid, I got a question for you here.
Wait on.
Tell us, what are a few of your favorite hobbies? That's something.
Well, I really enjoy fishing, hunting. I'm more of a really outdoors person.
Outdoors. Now, like in fishing, do you prefer like the boat or the shore to fish from?
Truthfully, it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay,
but if I
either
had
way.
a preference, it'd probably be from the shore.
Really? See, I always like the fishing out of the boats, but we would take like John boats.
It really
and
depends on
remove the
what I'm
seats.
fishing. Like if I'm
Okay.
fishing a pond that has trees all around it, you can't really access the bank any. Just
Oh,
not
okay.
cleared out. Just like way back in the woods or something.
Oh,
And
okay, then
you're
boat
not able
to
to
it.
walk around it. That I'd use a boat for, like my 8-foot John boat or something along that line. But if I'm able to walk around and explore, I'd rather do that.
Oh, that I understand. That's pretty good and stuff. And hunting's hunting. That's just a given.
Yeah.
And stuff. So now camping, how do you go on when you go to camp? Are you the type that takes campers and all that, or do you rough it with tents and?
I like tents, and I also like a bunch of bushcraft stuff. Just to like build your own shelter, a lot of that kind of thing.
Okay.
So like the whole Boy Scout way, basically, they used to go and do it.
I guess you could say that. Like using big pine branches to help with.
You a big proprietor of the Leave It Cleaner Than You Entered? The whole.
Very.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's.
I don't want them to know I was there.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, see that's a big thing. You know.
Like, I hate seeing so many places getting shut off. Like, you cannot fish anywhere on the Mississippi bank.
Oh, because of the
on the
littering and
riverbank.
what
Oh,
they've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of littering, they shut it all down.
Yeah, see, that's a shame when people just don't do the right thing and pick up after themselves. It's not a bad thing, to take a little bag, trash bag, even if it's like a grocery bag shop, a grocery store
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah,
Take
'cause-
one of those, because how much trash really fishing could you have? There's
Yeah,
not
for
a
real,
whole
and-
lot. So obviously these guys are down there drinking and eating and
For sure.
whatever else and just leaving wrappers and whatnots. That's a shame and stuff.
They just
Conservation
Throw
is
stuff everywhere.
yeah, that's a big deal. That gets in the water system and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame and
Like,
stuff.
now there's a lot of aquatic life that has, like, plastic in it and
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, your fish now, you got to be careful. Ponds and certain types of lake will be okay. If it's pure fishing lake and it's watched closely fishing lake, you'll be okay with their fish. But if
Yeah.
it's recreational and there's fishing, like some of the bigger lakes that have camping along with family boating and picnicking areas,
Yeah.
there's several around the country like that. Those
Like
anymore, you're 50-50, like you said with the.
Yeah, I have about 4 private ponds that I'm able to go to.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
it is nice. Your youngest son came with me a couple times to him. And
Oh, yeah,
I
dude.
catch, like, it's well raised, so I catch probably 20-pound channel cat. That's a big channel cat.
Yeah, it is.
For,
That's a good meat cat there.
no, 5-pounders.
Really?
Younger the better.
Yeah, well, being bottom feeders too, you lose a lot of meat to the yellowing
They're not really bottom
and
feeders, truthfully.
stuff, huh?
Catfish aren't really bottom feeders.
Well,
You can catch them anywhere from a foot to the bottom.
well, the river cats pretty much are.
Yeah, it really depends where the school is. Where's the bait fish?
Yeah,
You find the bait fish, you find the catfish.
yeah, and stuff. And on rivers, you got quite a current, so they're going to hit low because that's where most of the schools are going to run because the current dies out with, the rockage and whatnot's at the very bottoms. So
Yeah.
I feel a little left out because the only type of water thing I do is with Fluffy kayaking. That's the only thing we do. I don't
Kayaking's
fish.
fun.
boating really, it's okay, but for our family to own one wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd love to own a kayak because
You
I'd love
know.
to do that every
Well,
once in a while in
I
the
go
summer.
No, that's
kayaking
not a
a
big
lot.
investment, though.
Yeah,
You're not talking 500 used minimum John boat to $20,000-$30,000 bass boats. You're not looking into that. See, that's something I don't want to invest in, especially at my age, knowing how little I will get a chance to use it by the way I work and everything like that now.
Yeah.
And so being young, take advantage when you can run out like that and get it in while you can.
I'm
'cause,
trying.
Especially well with Billy, you're having a kid and stuff.
Yeah.
This is a good chance to make sure that the kid gets the chance to grow up in the woods and stuff too. Go camping and fishing.
For sure.
Doing it little makes it so more enjoyable for them and stuff. The country life, it's laid back. It's easy. It's not hard to get your kids into that stuff if you keep the video
Definitely.
games out of their hands and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And doing it young.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, doing it young and
nowadays.
making it fun. Also, that's the key, is to make it to where it's something that they enjoy to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Don't be that over aggressive fisherman. You know what I'm talking
Oh, yeah.
about. You know those guys.
I don't like those guys.
I've seen guys throw poles. I've seen meltdowns. I've seen guys on boats kick their
Tackle.
trolling
Yeah.
motors off the front of
I've
it.
seen that.
And just off of losing a fish. And the ones that kick the bass or kick the
Motors?
the motor off, a lot of times them are bass fishermen that ain't keeping it. They catch
sure.
and release.
So what was the meltdown over anyway?
Exactly. That's the whole
Right.
point. Like us, me and Billy,
just
we
go
keep
out for
them.
peace
We
and
keep
fun.
what we fish
Yeah.
for.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go out, just catch a few fish, have fun, release them.
Oh, okay.
But-
Just for
A lot of
the
times I'm
sport.
bringing home a big old 5-gallon bucket full of bluegill and crappie.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll tell you what. I love the bluegill and crappie fish. That is. You get into a good spot for them. I've done literally where this is in a boat, of course, at this time, where I just, on my fishing pole, I just have my line long enough down into the water where they're hitting it at.
Yeah.
Yep.
We usually use minnows for that, and I don't crank at all. When my pole
barely
starts
jig it.
moving, I just pull my string up and raise the fish up and out of the water. I'm pulling the string out where the reel is,
Yeah.
and the first eye hook, I'm pulling out that way, and I just raise them up, set them down into the boat, and unhook them. I don't have to adjust my line. You do a little bit here and there, but really I don't have to adjust my line if you get into a good spot off a boat.
Yeah.
Fishing off the sides is a lot different. But doing it out of a boat, because you can get right up into some of these spots. You may risk scraping a little bit, and John boats are usually the best for that type of fishing. Because we always tore our, when we did it when I was younger, we tore our boats bench seats out, and we put a floor in the bottom and have captain's chairs where you can swivel, so it's a lot easier to fish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot more comfortable also. I've always been a big fan of camping and fishing and stuff. I love to do that. Just hard to do when you get so much going on in life. You know?
Yeah. I've been wanting to go camping actually for a while now.
I invited you a little while back, and
I mean, I think I
you
worked.
declined. No, you were off.
Oh.
You said you had to edit.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, that is a big thing with this podcast, though.
Yeah.
Editing takes a long, long time.
It does.
Yeah, it does. But maybe that's something we can look towards for the
Hey, it's
summers
fun.
to get us a group of us to go
Yeah.
camping, mom and everything, because your mom's down to camp.
I would love to, because I
If-
just want to get out of this house.
If you guys go,
Yeah.
on a float trip or anything, I suggest Merrimack Caverns.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe get everybody to get a bunch of us go and get a couple camp spots, and then we can do it. We'll contact some of our friends
About to
that,
say,
that are
it's
listeners
a
and
couple
stuff.
hour drive.
It's
but
not bad.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's not like you're driving a day and a half to get somewhere to spend a weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's not bad for us. But yeah, that's something that you can really look into this summer is what we should do
Yeah.
and stuff.
For sure, it's worth it. I go down every year.
That's always fun. Do you like doing caves and stuff like that too, exploring, and those that are safe enough to go into?
Yeah,
Do
for
you
sure.
like take pictures or anything like that?
No, not really. Most of the time, I'm just going there just to hang out, and
Get stoned.
not every time.
But most of the time, at least
Most of the time.
most of my occasions when I go to like the cave or someplace, if I go to
Yeah.
one, it's in the effort to get stoned, but
Like-
also exploration. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like, I've been on top of all them bluffs down the
Down by where you
down the
live
river,
and stuff, and
river
Yeah.
road, and I've been on top of all them bluffs. I've been a little everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, if I wasn't so terrified of heights, I'd probably go up. But I mean, in the name of exploration, one of my favorite things about camping, if I'm being honest, because I
Yeah.
really like the exploration aspect, and also a little bit about the survival aspect too. Because from me being in Boy Scouts when I was younger, though, that's from where that
Yeah.
stems.
Well, survival's more is depends of what upon you bring.
Yeah, yeah.
lot of it with the camping is, especially if you can explore, that's really cool. Like if you just like,
Yeah.
they got a section of woods, you know, just
With
go
some
for a walk
trails
through
and-
'em,
Oh,
and-
yeah.
yeah, you can see where people have done little things here, little things there. Good way
Yeah.
to also find your free firewood to drag back to.
Oh, definitely.
You know, just don't be chopping no trees down, getting in trouble.
Oh yeah, no.
But in the woods, usually that's why they don't have to clean them out. It's because 90% of the time they're clean from the people that go camping there. They're
Oh,
out
yeah.
there
Yeah.
looking, scrounging for the fall down branches and stuff. I'll tell you what, when we were kids, that was kind of like the big thing to do was to send the kids out into the woods to go hunting for wood to bring back for the bonfire at night. So we'd send, like around 3 o'clock, the parents would get, all the kids together and send them out, and you come dragging back. Oh, but we come back a couple times, 2 or 3 of us had to hang on to this long branch, or
Oh, yeah.
it's not a tree log, but it's pretty big for kids, and
Oh, yeah.
3 of us dragging it, coming out of the woods and stuff. Camping is great. I love it. Have you, now that you're gonna have a kid, have you thought about what all you guys are gonna try to do as far as where you wanna raise them and stuff? Or are you trying to just open to everything, or are you gonna try to
Me, I'm old school whenever it
Okay.
comes to raising. Me, I favor discipline. I favor butt whoopings.
Yeah, see, I don't see no problem in that. That's the way
Yeah.
I grew up. I remember
That's how I
getting
grew up.
paddled into school.
I
with
had a
real
belt
wood
on my
paddle.
butt and soap in my mouth, literally.
Yeah, I mean, anymore, people take things a little too far with putting in their 2 cents, I guess. Because really, if the child is not being abused, I don't see why
Yeah.
you even need to bother with it. I'm a big believer in mind your own business.
Yeah.
I do.
Exactly.
I have things I see I don't agree with. I just turn my head and I'm on. Why I don't. That person don't care what I think, what I'm gonna say. So
Yeah.
doing it the old school way. That's
Not
how,
just that, oh, raise them tough.
That and with respect, the person, you can't push them around, but yet you have to
Exactly.
show them the respect because they're respectful to you. You just can tell they're not one to push. That's what you want
Like,
your
nowadays,
child to
I'm pro-
portray is.
I'm not gonna put soap in their mouth and all that now.
Well, nowadays I don't.
you
but yeah, they
can't
like
do that.
try like a big thing with us is like the stove. The one thing people always either they're for doing it or they're for heavily against it is a child reaching up at the stove and it's on and
Let
getting
them touch
slapped,
it.
getting them slapped.
Hey, they touch it, they
And
won't do
so-
it again.
Well, see there, that's where you risk the child
Yeah,
getting really
hurt.
injured, not because. But the big
Yeah.
But the big thing would go on would they get their hands slapped as they were reaching up there, and then they would others wouldn't do it, wouldn't slap the child's hand. They would think that would be too brutal. I would,
Yeah.
me personally, I think once the child gets their hands slapped, that's something to tell them because it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Have them fear that in the beginning until the comprehension of what can happen to them with that
Yeah.
can be
Definitely.
understood, and that's where a lot of things have wavered. So you wanting to go old school, I applaud you for it, really, because I think that it's gonna.
Like, I'm
You'll
a
have
teacher.
less
You have to
problems.
work for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way around it.
Exactly.
There really isn't.
Yeah, you're not handed nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think you are getting handed stuff, in reality, it's getting paid. It's getting paid for by you in the long run. You just ain't seeing it. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean? And paying more for something or whatever. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that you're really trying to keep a family tradition style going. You know, the family unit style, because that's the way I've always lived, and I try
Yeah.
to do for you guys.
So, before we wrap up, is there any other questions you'd like to ask Billy? I can't think of any right now.
I had one, but I lost it.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. We all get the brain farts. I
Yeah.
don't know. Son over there, sometimes he walks around all day in a brain fart, I think.
Constantly. Well, this has been Son,
This is Dad.
and that's Billy over there, and thank you for listening to the Coffee Bar Stories. Tune in next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Dad.
And Son on the Coffee Bar Stories.
Please join us each week for new stories.
All music in today's episode was brought to you by Kevin MacLeod.